Have you ever wondered why we have different types of lab tests? Why we have blood, saliva, urine, all these type of different tests, and why some labs want some forms and other labs want other forms? Hey, I'm Trevor Chakudi, and today I want to talk to you about stress hormone testing. Okay, so this is the hormones that regulate your stress mechanisms, also your reproductive system, and the different types of testing available and why we tend to use one over the other. If you're loving our videos, please guys like and share our videos. It's the easiest way for us to get information out and help more and more people as much as we possibly can. All right, so let's have a chat about these hormones. So there's three different types of hormone testing that we can use, and that is blood, saliva, and urine. And often the urine test, you'll hear the urine test known as the Dutch test. It's a very, very neat, simple, and easy test to do. It gives a whole lot of information as well. But let's break them down. Let's have a look at how hormones work to begin with. So to start with, hormones aren't necessarily floating around freely. Like the bloodstream, anything that's floating around on its own in the bloodstream is going to be highly active in the system. So therefore, there are times we want things to be active and sometimes we don't want things to be active. So the way that the human body regulates that is through what we call carrier proteins. So the carrier proteins are basically proteins that float around the system and the hormone binds to them. And this is what we're seeing here. We have this bound hormone attached to this binding protein. And then what happens is as the body needs substances, these hormones get released into the bloodstream and become what we call free hormone. And it's the free hormone that actually then goes and attaches to wherever it needs to go, to whatever organ it is or to whatever cell it needs to be to actually become active and have a role. So it's the free hormone that really is the active hormone in the body. So when we look at the three different types, so generally speaking, when we're looking at blood testing, most of our blood tests are for total hormone, which includes free hormone and bound hormone. And this gives us some really good information when we're looking for pathology. When we're looking for disease, it tells us what the entire production line is actually doing. When we look at urine testing, really what we're looking at is the metabolites of these things. So as the kidney filters them out and pushes them out, how many of these things do you produce? How many comes out the other side? And the final one is saliva. And with saliva, what we're actually looking for is how much of this hormone actually enters your saliva. And that sounds really funny, but yes, your hormone does actually enter saliva. The interesting thing with that is your salivary glands actually have a filtration system which only allows certain aspects of substances to get into the mouth itself. So in this case, our binding protein is too big to fit through these holes, but our free hormone is small enough to get into them. So what we see when we look at saliva is we only test the free hormone. And this really has a lot of benefit when we're looking at it from a functional perspective because it tells us about the amount of hormone that's actually bioactive in the human body. Okay, and this is a little bit simplified, I know, but it gives us a better understanding of it all. So when we look at the three of these, at our office here, we love using saliva. There's a few reasons we love using saliva when we're trying to ascertain functional levels when we're looking at somebody who has fertility issues or somebody who has hot flushes or stress hormone issues, these type of things. And the few big reasons for them, number one, is it's, as I said before, it's free hormone. So it's the bioactive hormone that we're really looking at. Second aspect is you can do this at home. Saliva testing is really, really easy to do. You just get a little test tube and all you need to do is spit into it at a certain time of the day or a certain time of the month and it will give us those hormones that we're looking for. Very, very simple to do, unlike blood. It's a split moment in time. So just like blood, you're actually checking out what is the level at that point in time. With urine, we accumulate urine over several hours in most cases. So it's like an accumulation or an average over a period of time where the saliva really is a matter of what's happening right here, right now. Unlike blood, there's no needles in it at all, and it is actually really stable at room temperature. Free hormone in saliva is really, really stable. So you can fill up a test tube and you don't have to refrigerate it immediately, you don't have to freeze it, doesn't need to go into dry ice. It can be stored and it can be transported very, very, very easily. So we get very, very accurate readings when we're looking at saliva testing, especially when it comes to stress hormones and we can pinpoint it at certain times of the day. So we could do several tests throughout the day and get specific questions answered about where your stress hormones or reproductive hormones are at those certain times of the day. So really, really important understanding the 3 different types, whether it be we're looking for pathology, functional assessments, etc. And then looking through all that, understanding the mechanism allows us to really ascertain what type of testing is right for you. Anyway, if you have any questions on any of that stuff, please post them up or send them through to me. Always too happy to help. Otherwise, if you're all okay until the next vid, I'll catch you then. Bye for now.